Hey, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to share a little public service announcement for those of you who happen to be foreigners in the USA and you're looking to get your driver's license. Now, this is something that I've actually been putting off pretty much ever since we arrived in the USA from South Africa nearly 10 months ago. And I put it off because I thought that it would be a really complicated and exhausting experience. Now, one caveat is that the information I'm going to share with you in this video is in relation to getting your driver's license in Virginia. We live in Rosslyn in Northern Virginia. And when you get your driver's license in the USA, it is all dependent upon where you live. So the first thing that you need to have in place before you're even thinking about getting a driver's license is you have to have a permanent address. Now, if you're new to the channel, you may not know that we were actually nomadic for the first 6 months of our stay in the USA. We were doing house sitting, pet sitting, moving around different neighborhoods within Northern Virginia, Maryland, and DC. So for that first 6 months, we couldn't have applied for our driver's license, even if we had wanted to, because we didn't have a fixed address. Now that we have moved into our own apartment and we have that address, the time has come for us to get our licenses. And like I said, I thought this would be a really complicated process. I went onto the DMV website, and on first glance, it seemed like it was going to be the complicated process I had anticipated. Fortunately, however, it's not the case for those of you who already have a foreign driver's license. So the process that you're going to go through is really simple. And I've literally just come back from the DMV. And just like that, I've passed my learner's test. It's been a couple of decades since I last did a learner's test, and thankfully the kind lady informed me that because I do have an existing foreign driver's license, I don't have to do the whole education program thing. So the next thing to do is just book the road skills test. So a really simple process all in all. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to book your knowledge test appointment. So you're going to go onto the website, you're going to select your chosen DMV office, and you're going to book your slot. And then on that same website, you'll find lots of resources and information, and most important is the manual. So you don't have to go out and buy a book like we do in South Africa. You have to go to CNA and buy the K53 book. But on the Virginia DMV website, you can download the driving manual PDF. And literally, I did that on Friday. Today's now Monday. I read through the PDF on Friday and a little bit of Saturday. I'll be honest, I did fall asleep a couple of times. But one read through and a couple of refreshers in my mind of specific, speed limits and things like that, and I was ready for my appointment today on Monday. They tell you to arrive 15 minutes before your allotted time. I did exactly that. I walked in, they asked if I had completed my online application, and I realized that I hadn't done that. So they gave me the form and told me to sit down and wait for my number to be called, because you're given a number. And I barely managed to tick the first box on the application form when my name was called. So I went up to the counter, and while I was completing the form, the counter assistant was taking all of my information and starting the process. You do need to take with you a formal form of identification. I took my passport along. You need to have with you proof of your legal residence in the USA. So in my case, I used the I-94 form, or your visa in your passport will suffice. And you need to have 2 forms of proof of residence. So I took along my copy of our lease agreement and one of our statements from Dominion Energy, our electricity bill. And with all of that documentation, they plugged in all the details onto the computer. I finished completing out the form, and in that same cubicle, we did the eye test, which is a quick 30-second eye test looking into the receptacle and then doing the eye test as you would expect. You take your photo, you sign, do your electronic signature, and then they tell you that they're going to take you to another cubicle so that you can do your test. And then when you get to that second cubicle, there's a bunch of different computers. There were 6 computers in total. I sat down and the test started. So it's all done electronically. You're not allowed to have your phone with you or any notes, obviously, because you're not allowed to cheat. There are 10 road sign questions at the start of the test, and then it's followed by 30 general driving knowledge questions. It's all multiple choice, whether choosing A, B, C, or D as your answer, or true and false answers. You're allowed to review your selections, both while you're choosing it at the time and once you've finished that section. You can go back through and review all of your questions or your answers. I made sure to do that just to take my time. I think in total it probably took me about 15 minutes to go through everything and go through it again before submitting it and getting my score. And then on the screen you're told immediately whether you've passed or failed. And then this is the good news. The conclusion I had come to when I was doing my own online research was that I would have to do the knowledge test, I would have to do the road skills test, and in order to do the road skills test I would have to go through a driver education program, which, as it turns out after my research, would be very expensive because there would be several hours of driver training. We're looking in the region of like $400 to $700 for that driver education program. Fortunately, however, I confirmed it with 2 different women at the DMV, and they both confirmed that because you have your foreign driver's license and it is still valid, all you need to do once you've done your knowledge test is then book an appointment at a DMV center that offers the driver skill appointment, and they will have on record that you have passed your written exam. Then it's just a case of doing the driving test, and with your foreign driver's license in hand, they will then issue your Virginian driver's license. It is my understanding that if you move from state to state, you have to do a swap. So if I get a Virginian driver's license, although I can drive in different states, if I move to a different state, I have, I think, 30 days in order to then do a swap. And then that's a straightforward swap, as far as I understand. I stand to be corrected. But as a foreigner, when you get here for the first time, you do have to do the knowledge test, you do have to do the driver's skill test. But fortunately, you don't have to do the driver education portion, the expensive portion of the process, and you can just jump straight ahead and go and do your driver skills test. So now, let's jump to my driver skills test, the next step in this process.
Okay, today is the day, and it is cloudy, wet, drizzly outside. Not exactly the perfect day to go for a driver's test. I've actually been lying in bed for a while, and I have been on YouTube watching some driver's test instruction videos so that I can just see if there's any nuances that I need to learn before the test. But I think it's all going to come down to relying on my 25 years experience of driving. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So I have to get some breakfast, and then we're off to the driving place, test DMV place.
I'm doing the navigation and the moral support.
No, I locked it.
How are you feeling?
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
If I fail, I'll just do it again.
You can be nervous the 8th time you come, okay?
In 1,000 feet, your destination will be on the left.
All the bad driving habits of 25 years are going to come out.
That's what you can say.
Guess what?
I was meant to bring my passport and I picked up Jean's passport instead. So now we have to go all the way back and come all the way back.
Okay, see you shortly.
Okay, I have the right passport.
And we're back.
Now we're really going to do it this time. We've been waiting for some time.
Yeah, not as slick as the first time. The paperwork takes a long time, and now it's just wait for an instructor.
Yeah, we missed our window of
Booked appointment.
preferential treatment. So now we're in with the rest of the walk-ins.
Well, I see the guy there.
Yeah, I know. There does seem only to be one driving instructor man.
Many minutes later.
Okay. Wish me luck. I hope I do it.
I'm going to wait out here, okay?
We weren't permitted to record any of the driver skills test, and in fact beforehand they specifically make you agree not to record anything. So while I got on with doing my driver's test, Jean found a lovely bench on a quiet trail in a nearby forest. How lovely to have a little moment of quiet contemplation.
20 minutes later.
Here she comes.
I didn't stop through a stop street. He took me sneaky around a traffic circle, which I haven't done yet in this country, and I asked a question which was, the answer was obvious. But I passed. Yay! It's over. I'm so glad that's over. There's a stop sign there, and I completely just went through it. He gave me a warning. Said that you didn't stop, I'm giving you a warning. And then apparently on this hire card there's some stickers or something that's missing, so he had to call his colleague to ask about the stickers, but they let me go anyway. And then I had to do the right and left signals, and I put the wipers on. Quick and easy in the end, but yeah, that was a sneaky circle route. And then we were stopped at a traffic light, a red traffic light, and it had a no turn on red light, and people went through the red light because that's a thing here that you can turn right at a red light if it's clear to do so. But it had unless it's got a no turn on red sign, and that one did have, and two cars went, and I said, well, weren't they meant to stop? And he said, no, see, there's a sign there that says during these hours. So you have to read like whole manuals while you're interpreting the road signs to understand what time of day it is, and make sure that, you know, it is that time of day, and what if it's 1 minute before or 1 minute after that time, then you're not actually. So yeah, that was interesting. Oh, and then he nearly shat himself because I was turning left here and I went into the turn left lane. It was green for us, and I was slowing down, but I hadn't come to a full stop. And he's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? I said, you said I must turn left. He said, yeah, but when it's, when it's clear. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was going to. So he shot himself at the end. But he gave me a pass anyway, so.
A week later, I received my driver's license in the post, and the process was complete. It is worth mentioning, though, that I wasn't tested on any kind of parking skills, and specifically in Virginia, they don't do parallel parking testing, which was a good thing. I hope you found this video useful. If this was useful to you, please give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment in the comments down below so that more foreigners can find this information and make this whole process of getting a US driver's license that much easier. I know that I wish I had seen somebody else's video like this
before I started this process so that I didn't stress and get anxious about this thing unnecessarily. I thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.